To mark the return of Thierry Henry and Paul Scholes to the Premier League, no desperation there than Arsenal and United, we've compiled our list of top 10 blasts from the past who we'd love to see playing again in the top flight. So without further ado, let's get started at number 10 with Everton's burglar-beating nutcase Duncan Ferguson. Arguably the football hardman of recent years, Duncan disorderly was sent off 8 times for Toffees, and if he was playing today it's likely he'd be getting a red card every second game. Still, it'd liven up match of the day every Saturday night, and he may even overtake left-back Leighton Baines as his club's current top scorer. At number 9, it's Liverpool legend Ian Rush. With Luis Suarez picking up suspensions as frequently as Andy Carroll picks up cream cakes, the Reds would love to see Rushy back up front to give them a decent striking option. The man who's famous for stating that his time in Juventus was like playing in a foreign country would feel right at home under Kenny Dalglish, and his ridiculous tash would even be fashionable for 1 month of the year now that everyone insists on getting a furry upper lip during Movember. At 8, it's the man widely regarded as the best ever Manchester City player, who strangely probably wouldn't even get in the current City side, midfielder Colin Bell. Bell guided City to a raft of silverware during his playing days, and he had the West Stand at the new ground named after him. The Colin Bell Stand was the final name settled on after supporters said they would be a little unsure about sitting on the Bell end. On to 7, and it's Southampton's Matt Le Tissier, a man with an incredibly huge talent and an incredibly huge nose. Le Tissier could score goals from almost anywhere in the opposition's half with outlandish long-range efforts and became the first midfielder to net 100 times in the Premier League. All this, and he once went out with Marilyn from home and away. What more could you ask from a man? At 6, it's a man Chelsea would love to see back on their field to bolster their powder puff rearguard. It's Ron Chopper Harris. Again, likely to be sent off every week if he was playing today, Harris took no prisoners and was regarded to have the biggest tackle in the game. He was also pretty good at winning the ball off opposition forwards too. Boom, boom. At 5, and is there a man more loved at one club than Steve Bull is at Wolves? Well, probably, but I couldn't think of another introduction for this bit, so that will have to do. Bull scored more than 300 goals at Wolves, including 18 hat-tricks, although most of his goals were in the lower leagues. Would he have cut it in the top flight? Wolves fans would love to have him back playing now to try and find out. On to number 4, it's a man who will be forever remembered for his overhead volley for England against Belgium during Italia 90, David Platt. A goal-scoring midfielder for Aston Villa, Platt took the Villains to the verge of the title in 1990 and was one of the few Brits to taste success in Italy, now often seen in stern-faced poses on the touchline at Man City, resisting the urge to wave imaginary red cards. Platt would be a welcome addition to a Villa side that is distinctly average these days. Now for the top 3, and at 3 it's the man they call Mr Sunderland. No, not former Arsenal striker Alan Sunderland, but Black Cats legend Niall Quinn. Giraffe-like Quinn, he stands 7'6" tall after being stretched on a rack as a youngster in Ireland to prepare him for Gaelic football matches. Spent 6 years as a player at the club, then became chairman and now carries out an ambassadorial role. A triumphant return to the side at the age of 45 is the logical next step for Quinn to allow Nicholas Bentner more time to focus on his new career of wrecking cars and causing fights in hotels. Things are hotting up a bit now. Must be the studio lights. Right, at 2 it's Alan Shearer. True, he's a goal-scoring legend at Newcastle, but the only reason we want to see him back playing again is so we don't have to enjoy his horribly dull and boring as hell appearances on Match of the Day. Liven it up please, Shearer. And at number 1, it has to be Paul Gascoigne. Daft as a brush, but supremely talented, Gazza had it all as a player with skills and tricks repeated by few others. Since the end of his career, Gascoigne has embarked on increasingly more bizarre and troubling escapades, culminating in gate-crashing the police standoff with fugitive Raoul Moat, brandishing beer, chicken and a fishing rod while wearing a dressing gown. If Spurs could have him back, as he was in his heyday, not only would it give Wayne Rooney some respite from the tabloids, but it'd probably see the Lilywhites win the title this year. Well, that's our list of players we'd like to have back in the Premier League. To see all of our current football and other sports betting prices, simply visit www.spreadex.com on your computer or on your smartphone right now.